Hey there guys, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. Thank you so much for joining me. Today for this episode we are discussing After the Hike for the Freezing Rain Overnight Adventure 2. We had a great time, we'll discuss it now. So what can I say about the Freezing Rain Overnight Adventure 2? It was absolutely awesome. It truly was. Not only did we have the winter storm coming in, but it was nice and cool, and the location that we selected was absolutely perfect, especially for the circumstances of that trip. Now, if you guys watched the adventure, you guys know that, we had snow, sleet, and lots of freezing rain and rain. It really did put my own skills to the test because, I had to worry about packing everything up in the pouring rain, not getting soaking wet, not soaking my gear, and you know what? We achieved all those goals. We were able to do all of that with no issues. Part of that was where we went. A good part of that was the gear that we selected. It was awesome. It really was. The hike itself was pretty strenuous, I have to admit. That is a lot of uphill with the amount of gear that we carried. And I did weigh the pack once I got back, and it was 35 pounds, right on the money. So definitely a pretty good loadout. Lots of uphill. I was definitely pretty tired by the time I got done. My legs were actually a little bit sore the next day. The Baltoro pack, the Gregory Baltoro 75, handled that loadout so incredibly well. So comfortable, fits perfect, handles the gear perfectly. Just a great pack. Now, in the future, I will do a video previewing that pack, which I actually plan on doing fairly soon, so you guys will see that in the next couple of days. I've been using this pack for a long time now, so we're just about ready for the review, but I figure that we'll go ahead and do a preview of it, and then move to the review later on. Before we start talking about the gear, though, I just want to talk about the weather. It started snowing probably about 9 o'clock, then followed by sleet, and then it was freezing rain, and then pouring rain. By the time we woke up in the morning, it was probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock. There was a good inch of water on the ground everywhere. Since the ground was frozen, none of that stuff was actually being absorbed into the ground at that time. So yeah, there was some pretty good pooling all over the place, but the location where we set up our tent was perfect. So not bad at all. Overall, we got about 3 inches of rain from that storm, and then we got about 4 inches of snow, which is actually melted here. There's still some here on the sides of the hills where the sun don't hit. But a lot of fun. The winds picked up, especially after we left. When I was driving home, man, I tell you what, it's a struggle to keep that Ram van on the road. It has such a tall profile that the winds were just blowing it all over the place. The winds that night were rocking about 60 miles an hour, with some of those gusts. But definitely it was a wise decision to get out of there when we did. I had a blast, no doubt about it. When it comes to gear, we had 4 shining stars. One was the Go Light Shangri-La 3 tent. That was a very, very smart choice. That one pole and being able to put everything up before actually taking down the fly, was very, very smart. We were able to put up everything without getting wet. Nothing got wet. So, very, very smart move there. Like I said in that video, when you have freezing rain, when you're dealing with it, having a bunch of poles to put up can be a serious chore, especially if they're frozen. So, just being able to put up the pole and then put up the fly was super, super simple. Definitely a smart move. Next up was the Gore-Tex layers. I got back to the van after hiking for about an hour, a couple of miles in the rain, and nothing was wet whatsoever, My clothes were perfectly dry. I was actually prepared to be kind of wet. I had extra change clothes in the van, didn't even need them. The jacket that I used was a Marmot Minimalist Gore-Tex, and the pants were a High Sierra Gore-Tex. I don't actually know the name of those. I'll have to look those up and see if I can't find that. I've had them for a while now. But both really performed very, very well. Next up, of course, was the Gregory Baltoro 75 pack. Such a good pack. It is known for being one of the best packs out there. For a good reason. If you look it up yourself, you'll see just nothing but shining reviews. Yes, it's a little bit heavy. Comes in right at 5 pounds. So there's definitely lighter options out there. But that one has all the features. It has the right amount of pockets, the perfect amount of space. The suspension system, fantastic. Really. It really did well. Very comfortable. I wasn't sore at all from carrying that load up the mountain or back down the mountain. Since it was kind of icy, we did have to go slow. But you know what? a good pack translates to a very good trip, and that is definitely the case with the Gregory Baltoro 75. The last bit of kit that really was awesome was the sleeping bag and the sleeping pad. That's the Big Agnes Crater 15 degree with the Heinemann sleeping pad. That sleeve that's on the back side of the sleeping bag is so awesome. That is a great feature. To be able to roll around inside of your sleeping bag without it actually slipping off the pad or the bag itself getting twisted up is fantastic. Super comfortable, super warm. I stayed nice and toasty all night long, didn't even need the hand warmers. And when we turned in that night, it was about 26 degrees. Definitely cold, snowing. Awesome bag, no doubt about it. Now, as far as I know, that bag has been discontinued, but they, of course, have new models on the market, so you can definitely find those if you're interested. I personally think all sleeping bags should have that sleeve for the sleeping pad. That is such a smart feature. Now, our total trip was right around, I don't know, 2 miles in, 2 miles out. Perfect amount of distance for the storm that was approaching. There's another location on that trail, on the Appalachian Trail, that I want to go back to. And if I remember correctly, it's about 5 or 6 miles from the beginning of the trail there in Damascus. And it is a beautiful spot. In the future, we will definitely go that far. Maybe when a good snowstorm's coming our way, something like that. But definitely so. Good trip, good amount of distance for the freezing rain. Beautiful spot. Absolutely gorgeous. Plenty of firewood, nice fire pit, water within a reasonable amount of distance if we needed it. Yeah, just fantastic. It was so quiet, so peaceful. Didn't see a soul, didn't hear anything at all. Just beautiful. When the sun went down, you could see the lights just flickering from a couple of homes out further on these other mountains. It was just amazing. It really was. I had such a good time. It did my soul some good just to be out there, lone wolf style, just sitting around the fire. And, you know, not even to mention that we were putting our skills to the test. It was cold. It was wet. It got windy. We had wintertime, you know, snow, sleet, freezing rain conditions. So, yeah, it was an awesome trip all the way around. I can't wait to do it again. The meal that we had was that combination of rice, dried vegetables, meat stick, and cheese. And, you know, I really got to learn to start separating those bags in half because that produces so much rice. I was stuffed all night long. I couldn't even eat it all. I had to walk down the trail and dump it out some. And, too much rice. There is definitely a limit on the amount of rice that one person can eat, and I definitely found my limit right there. But very good meal, super simple to make. It was nice and warm. Good choice too. Now, one thing that I wanted to do, but I didn't have the opportunity to do, or the means to do it, was to record video of us hiking out of there during the rain. I don't have a waterproof camera, and once I got back, that was something that I started looking into. And I found that there are a ton of options out there. You have GoPro cameras, you have drift, ghost cameras, and contour, and this and that, and tons of different options. So I started looking around. I wanted a camera that was waterproof, but I wanted it to have good quality video, and especially good quality audio. And I think I found that camera. I have placed my order. It should be here within the next couple days. So the next time that we're out and it's snowing, freezing rain, we're going to be able to record some video. So the next time that we're doing a review on some equipment that really is weather dependent, we have a camera that will be able to shoot us out in those conditions so you guys can see for yourself how it handles. So I'm pretty excited to get that, to put it to the test, to work it. So that was a pretty good investment, no doubt. For these after the camp videos, I always like to show the times where funny things happen, you know, mistakes are made, so on and so forth. And really, for the star of that video, I could not get my sentences out right. There was times I would just be like, blah, blah, blah. Nothing came out the right way. I was cold, I was tired, nothing made sense. So I'll go ahead and I'll show it to you guys now, an example, or examples of that. You guys may be able to see this here. Here's where you lay in, you scoot into the sleeping bag. On the back side is this sleeve, right through here. And that's where you slip the slipping pad. All right, guys, well, we have made it here to, and I'm pretty excited to show this, guys, to you. As you guys can hear, guys, right now, the sleet and snow has transferred. The sleet and snow has transitioned. Guys, so as you can see there, I get tongue-tied quite a bit. I just could not get out those sentences. I was tired and hungry and cold, but we definitely made it through, you know, and I think we made a pretty good video all in all. Now, I did record this video in the highest quality possible with my camera. It was 1080p, 60 frames per second. Now, on my computer, it looks absolutely amazing. The file size is huge for that video. It was 18 gigs for that overnight adventure. And, you know, honestly, YouTube does not handle file sizes and that type of video quality very well. It really has to compress it, especially when you're talking about a video that's an hour long. So there are times in the actual video on YouTube where it looks kind of crappy, but that's just YouTube and their compression techniques. So, what do you do, right? That's just how it goes. But, you know, with being tongue-tied, that's how I roll, baby. So, do you guys have any questions concerning the Freezing Rain Overnight Adventure 2? If you do, please feel free to drop me a line. I definitely do my best to address all of your questions. Now, with Google Plus integration, it kind of makes that difficult. It has its problems and glitches, so it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys around. Everybody, take care, happy holidays, later.